welcome to the Kind of Funny Morning Show for Thursday, October 12th. My name is Nick Scarpino. I'm joined by my illustrious co-host today, Eric Castro, longtime friend of the show, person who is basically responsible for the top 4 of my hangovers in life. How you doing today?
Good to be here, man. Feel good.
Good, man. We're going to have a good show today. A couple fun news stories, some fun housekeeping items to go through, but of course I got to give everyone the spiel, the glockenspiel. The Kind of Funny Morning Show is your source of nerdy news that you need to know every morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv. Spoilers, if you're watching this on YouTube, we do this show live every morning. You guys can come hang out with us. Maybe you're at work and you're like, you know what? I don't feel like working today. You can do it live. You know, maybe you work with someone fun like Andy, right? And Andy's like, hey, let's not work today. Let's just hang out with our wang outs and rocks outs with our cocks outs.
Yeah, man.
And that's what's going to happen.
Hang 10, that's what we say in LA, Eric.
Yeah.
Hang 10, man.
Of course, if you don't feel like watching this live with us, no big deal. You can watch on YouTube and or podcast services everywhere if you'd like to hear your content. If not, Andy, are you here to talk about Party Mode?
I could.
Come in, talk. What's going on with Party Mode?
Well, I think we announced it yesterday. But Party Mode, you may have heard of it. It's a show I produce.
Get to it. Come on, you're dragging down the show. Dragging down the pace of the show.
It's won a couple awards so far.
It has not won any awards. Nobody
Party
won any
Mode
awards.
goes live Wednesdays. So it went live yesterday for Patreon on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. And then it goes live a week later on YouTube.
Now, I'm going to tell you one thing about this Party Mode. Is this the Party Mode that went live for patrons?
Yes.
This is our best Party Mode. For 2 reasons. 1, I'm in it, of course,
Yeah.
so naturally it's amazing. And 2, we did a really fun thing with this one where we actually filmed multiple cameras, multiple desks, multiple feeds, and Andy cut it together. Now what he said to me was this, Nick, this is an awesome Party Mode. I never want to do this ever again. Ever. To which I replied, unfortunately people are going to really like this, so Andy, I have a feeling you're going to have to do this a lot. But this, if I'm not mistaken, Andy, are we doing a 2-parter on this?
Yes, part 2 will be out in 2 weeks for patrons.
So if you liked this one and you want to go support us, you want to give us the buck and get this week early, you're going to get another one next week. That's part 2 of this, and in which I may or may not have been Jason for the first time. So isn't that fun?
Play that quick clip.
Play that quick clip.
Hey, you brought a clip?
Yeah, we brought a clip.
Oh, Andy brought a clip. Isn't that great?
So let me set up this shot. No, I'm just kidding.
Are we hearing this?
No, I think we turned the volume down.
Oh, I don't have to hear
And
it.
so, who's Jason right here?
Greg Miller.
Greg is
Come on,
Jason.
man.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking in purple?
It's Retro Jason.
Was he purple?
In the NES version.
NES version. You wouldn't know. You don't know. Sure.
Why was he purple?
The costume.
Yeah.
I wish I could hear this, but I assume it's really funny.
Have you not watched it? No. Come on, Nick. Watch the content. You know?
Do you know how much content we make on a daily basis?
A lot.
80 hours. I calculated it the other
You're
day.
making it right now, right?
80 hours of content. Yeah, we're making it right now.
On a
Yeah,
daily
right.
basis?
On a daily basis. I may have been
Yeah.
off a little bit in my
Yeah,
calculations. But there it is. So everyone go over to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames and support us at the $1 above level. Get you that amazing, amazing... What's up, Greg? How you doing?
Oh, you know how it works here. Kind
Yeah.
of funny.
Yeah.
When one of us does something bad, we rub their nose in it. Joey, come here. Get out here.
Joey, what'd you do?
I didn't do
No,
anything.
it's not Joey we're mad at. We're mad at Nick Scarpino.
Shade.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, because we haven't talked about it yet, we are down to our last 1 coffee pod of regular coffee. And you
got
might
it?
say, how would that happen? Is it because Kevin's not here? That's a big part of it. Kevin is the guy who looks out for
In
all
fact, that is
I mean,
the
being on a
part of this.
honeymoon isn't like a good excuse.
No, but I
No.
mean, we'll
Sure,
let it
fair.
slide. The problem is that a long time ago, Nick Scarpino decided he's not going to drink caffeine anymore.
Right.
So he bought all these fucking decaf pods. Now, that's one decaf
Yeah.
pod, Eric Castro. And at a glance, that might not look decaffeinated. Because there's also these decaf pods that look decidedly different. So, of course, Cool Greg's confused. He's running the show. He's editing videos. He's flying all over the world to see WWE superstars. He doesn't have time to go through and fucking check which is decaf and not. And then fucking today, we get down to the final 4. the final 4 caffeinated pods. At which point, what did you even say to us, Nick?
I said, I don't care. Go buy more pods. They sell them everywhere.
No! You said you're not even on the decaffeinated kick anymore. You're drinking regular coffee.
Here's the most amazing part about this. They're like, what are we going to do? And their first instinct was, well, I guess we'll order them from Amazon and just wait for like a day or two until they get delivered. Like, they don't actually, like, brick and mortar isn't still a thing. This is the one and only time you can actually get in a fucking car and go drive down to a Starbucks, which, by the way, is like 2 blocks away, and buy some more pods. But they have spent more time arguing about this and making fun of me than if Joey just got, who, by the way, drives her own car to work every day.
Joey's running social media. Who do you think's tweeting about you being on this show right
Nobody
now?
has tweeted about me. I tweeted about me being on the show.
Go to twitter.com/kindafunnyvids. You know what I mean?
I'll go to twitter.com/kindafunnyvids. All I see is
that one and just
No one cares about the show's getting promoted. No one cares that Nick's the actual host of it.
Wait a minute, is this a regular pod?
That's regular, yeah. It's the last one.
Well, here's what I need you to do. Put this in your coffee
that's
and
not
suck
how
on
it
it.
works,
Suck
dude.
it. Here you go. Put it in your coffee and suck it. Here's the deal.
Put it in things
I'm
with
willing to
water.
bet that neither of you, if I made you a cup of coffee of decaf versus regular, neither of you would know the difference.
I don't think that's true.
Neither of you would know the difference.
Definitely
You know
know
what?
the difference between the Dunkin' Donuts and the Starbucks.
You
Yeah,
know what?
'cause the
I
Dunkin'
accept
Donuts
this
coffee
challenge.
tastes like
I
shit.
accept this challenge.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're hosting the show.
Okay.
Gerald's game, fucking watch it. It's required viewing. Watch
You have to watch it.
You like women in bed. You like men in bed. You like seeing Captain Pike's abs. You're gonna get all that in this movie.
I don't know if I want to watch this movie.
You're gonna watch this movie. You're gonna try this movie, all right?
Okay.
Here's what we'll do. We'll go into a room and I'll tell you the only scary parts.
I don't mind the scary parts. I
aren't
watched
even really-
the trailer for it and I'm like, eh.
You're a monster.
I'll watch
It's
it
required
tonight.
viewing. I watched Daddy's Home for you.
You did not. That wasn't required viewing. I just said it
Tomorrow.
was funny and you're like, I'm bored. So I watched it.
Tomorrow. Required viewing. Gerald's game. Then also we will have Cool Greg prepare me 1 cup of decaffeinated coffee, 1 cup of regular coffee, and we will come in and see if either of us can tell the difference.
Okay.
Okay?
You'll be able to tell the difference between tastes. I just mean caffeine levels. You won't be able to tell the difference.
Oh.
You're not gonna know.
Two of the same
You're not
type
gonna
of
know.
coffee,
Yeah, you're not gonna
caffeinated.
know if that has caffeine or not in it, because at this point you guys are so caffeinated up, you don't fucking notice
I
it
do feel
anymore.
really good right
It
now.
doesn't matter.
True story too. This is a Tom Boxon and sweatshirt.
Oh, look at that.
I'm wearing it because I'm
Fits you
so
nice.
cold. It's
Fits
a
you nice.
medium.
I told you lost weight.
Well, I just put up an Instagram thing. I don't like that this show's like, hey, do you have love handles? Let's make them gray.
Yeah, I like
It's totally point out the
does
fact that,
highlight the worst part
But I mean,
of
I'm
my
cold.
body.
I'm cold, so I gotta wear it.
Cool, Greg. Can you drop the gain on the camera a little bit? We're very bright today. Very bright today. While he's doing that, let's get into a couple other housekeeping things. Of course, Eric, you're joining us today because not only do we love you, not only do we love your, we value
love
your
you.
opinion on things.
Yes.
We love talking to you. We had you on the podcast yesterday, so everyone who was a patron who supported us over at the patreon.com/kindafunny, got to see our live podcast with Eric yesterday. Spoilers: a few of us got drunk.
I might have left with a
Tim
buzz.
may have died.
Yeah.
We don't know, but he had to go to a Macklemore concert, and I'm sure that concert was made much better, because of that. But you also have done you've just completed your documentary.
Yeah.
It's been up for a while,
Yeah.
and people can watch it. Where can they watch it?
Go to bartenderatlarge.com and click on the banner.
Now-
You can buy it for Name Your Price. It was just released October 9th for
You
sale.
can buy it for $69 if you want to buy it
Yeah.
for that. And give it a watch. Now, give people the spiel of what this is.
Essentially what it is, it's like we just decided to film a documentary kind of just chronicling what's going on with the cocktail world across the U.S., not just the big cities. And
So
you know,
not just the cool places.
Yeah, not
you
just
went to the uncool places too and found
they're cool
shit.
places, you know. And,
Well.
there's so much cool shit going on across the country that we decided to say, go highlight what's going on, because I think people have these misconceptions that aren't accurate about what's going on. So we decided to go there and taste it
So
for
you're going to
ourselves.
set the record straight.
Set the record straight,
Setting
man.
the record straight. So it's definitely worth cool. You brought that up. Fantastic. Go to bartenderatlarge.com. Check this out if you're into craft cocktails or you just want to see how other people live.
Or you just want to see an exquisitely produced and directed documentary.
There you go. There you go. Can we play? Oh no, we can't play any of it.
And you
bring
can
a
name
clip.
your price too, so if you want to pay 99 cents for it,
There you
feel
go.
free.
There you go. Check it out. Go support Eric Castro over there. Support indie filmmaking. We love that. This next piece of housekeeping news, I believe, is courtesy of the kind of funny best friend DJ Kento, who right now may or may not be in a terrible place up in Napa. We don't know. But DJ got Dean Cain to give us a celebrity video message. Let's watch that right now.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on with that.
The audio?
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it.
is it not playing audio through the system? Do you need to make sure that that specific slider on the board is up?
Yeah, it's up. It's not muted.
Okay. Well, everybody go over to, we'll just drop that link in the chat and people can watch
I assume
that.
some of your guys' viewers can read lips.
I would think so. We're
I
very
could totally
close to
read
Dean
lips.
Kane in this.
I just wanted to give you a shout out.
Yeah.
DJ Kento, you mentioned.
Yes.
You mentioned hopefully safe in Napa.
Yeah.
He's safe in San Francisco. Him and his
Okay.
family are in a hotel in San Francisco.
That's good to
They
know.
did have to evacuate.
I ran into a nice couple last night in my liquor store who were stocking up on provisions, and they were like,
Provisions.
there you go, ooh, San Diego. And I was talking to them, they're like, do we look like we're stress eating? And I'm like, no, I mean, you guys look like you're gonna have a great time tonight. They're like, well, yeah, we had to be evacuated from Napa, and we just got here today, and we're hungry. And I'm like, well, I'm like, okay, but and so I started telling them about all these places in the area. I was like, there's a great market down the road right there if you actually want real food. And then I started realizing how much of a dick that sounded to the guy that runs my local liquor store, that I'm like, don't shop at this fucking place. Because all he does is buy shit from markets and like literally put his price tag over their price tag. So you can see their price tag behind it for $1 less. I'm like, just go to the fucking Walgreens down the street. It's way better. It is way better. Cool, Greg, have you checked this out yet? Do we know what's going on with this or no? We don't know.
I'm still not done with this. Sorry.
All right.
Whoa.
Why don't we put that? I'll put the link. Oh, here's what we'll do. Here's what we're gonna do, everybody. I'm gonna put the link in the description. You can go over and watch that. It's really cool. Thank you for that, DJ Kanto, and hopefully you and your family are doing okay. There it is, right there. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It's great. Next piece of housekeeping news. I watched a great documentary last night called Spielberg. It's on HBO. Let me know if you guys have watched that. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. I thought it was pretty cool. It's like a 2-hour long documentary that chronicles all of Steven Spielberg's
Dude, I gotta
work.
watch it. Is it new?
It's brand new, actually. I think it just dropped about a couple weeks ago.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's
I'm
on.
definitely watching. Spielberg's a god to me.
It's
in terms of
crazy
directing.
because they go through his career, and from my perspective, when I was a kid, I thought he could do no wrong. I didn't realize he had a couple bombs.
he did
in
have
there.
a couple. What's that? 1942.
He had 1941.
1941.
Which I didn't realize was not a good movie for him. And what I also didn't realize was he took a lot of flack back in the day for making very Hollywood movies that didn't have a lot of heart, which I would disagree with wholeheartedly.
Totally. I
But a lot of
completely
people
disagree.
just thought that, a lot of critics gave him shit for like ruining film.
Yeah.
For basically
like
just
the
saying,
modern
like,
blockbuster is like really.
well, yeah, he
him.
invented that
Yeah.
essentially, and he was one of the people that popularized it, him and George Lucas. But he came from the crew of people, like he was homies with Coppola and Scorsese and De Palma and all of these people who are known for doing a wide variety of films. He was the one that was always working, and he was the one that was like popularizing this brand new like blockbuster medium. And apparently, a lot of people credit him for kind of killing off some of the types of films from the 70s, like the late 70s and early 80s, that were like
It's
a
only
little bit
good
more
movies were made in
intimate.
that era, so it's like everybody blames him for them. Not
Yeah, they kind
being made
of blame him for knocking some people off track. But of course, then they talk about what I thought was fascinating about it was that all of his films, even the ones that were very that you wouldn't necessarily think have a deeper message, like for instance. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, have a lot to do with some of the personal things that he went through. So he was very estranged from his father for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And so you go in looking at that, you look at that movie through that lens, and all of a sudden you start seeing it differently, right? Well, what was Last Crusade really about? Well, the B story of that movie was about Harrison Ford being estranged from his father because his father was always working and didn't have time for him, right?
It was
And
still a dick considering how long he hadn't seen him for.
well, yeah, and you see that they have that great scene on the Zeppelin where he's like, the last time you and I sat here and had a quiet drink together, I had a milkshake, which means he was a child.
Yeah.
He's like, and you didn't talk then. And they have that great father and son dynamic. And what I also didn't realize was like you go back and watch all of his films, and a lot of his films have to do with the dad not being in the picture. And it's about children sort of facing their demons and coming of age and all these things, and I didn't quite realize that, but it makes sense given that when I was most of the films were about children that were my age when I was watching those films, which is why I resonated.
Even Close
with them.
Encounters is about a dad who abandons his family.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, I
and so
didn't
there's
think
lots
about
of
that.
it's crazy, right? It's weird to
You
think about.
know,
Go back,
Dad.
everyone watch that documentary. Actually, I'm sure people are talking about it in the chat right now, but what the fuck chat? I got it, motherfucker.
Temple of Doom. It's that the little kid who doesn't have a dad.
There's
Like
that.
Indians
There's
are
the
playing
it's the
father.
Indiana coming into their
Yeah.
lives. All these kids who are estranged from their families, like getting to go back and like getting to. He saves them and brings them back to their families. Things like that, which are so. There's a lot of the more deeper
gotta
meanings
watch
and a
that.
lot of Spielberg, people are saying spoilers, bro. It's not spoilers. It's a very cool. If you're a Spielberg fan, you know most of the stuff already. It's just, it's really cool to see. And also, they go through when he was younger and he was making 8mm films and how he was just sort of. They show a lot of that footage, and it's really cool. It's really cool to see.
Yeah,
so I definitely recommend everyone go and watch that. Of course, Greg already went over the required reading, which is Gerald's game for tomorrow. See about that. We still got to do, cool, Greg, we still got to do your required viewing, which is quality of life, right? I got that sitting on my counter. I'm getting close to watching it, bro. I want you to know that. You gave it to me a year ago. Getting close to watching it. All right. That's it for housekeeping. Oh, no, we got one more housekeeping news story. Cool, Greg, bring this up. What are we looking at here?
Man, they finally let me release these videos of me interviewing all the wrestlers for 2K.
Oh, shit!
Yep,
Who's this wrestler we're looking at right here?
That's the champ, man. The modern day Maharaja. That's Jinder Mahal.
Say that slower for me. What is his name?
No, I can't. I don't know how to say it. It's like the modern day Maharaja or some shit like that.
Maharaja?
Probably.
Is that how they said?
I don't know.
But what's the guy's name?
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder
Mahal.
The
champ.
He's a big dude.
That fool's jacked, bro.
He is jacked like a motherfucker. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
God, I want arms like that. But I'm not willing to work for him, so I'll never have them.
So that's live on a Kind of Funny game, or Kind of Funny right now.
So go over to youtube.com/kindoffunny and check out all Cool Greg. I hear that you did a stellar job. I hear the word around the campfire is you're an up-and-coming guy. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Right, I also love that you're wearing the same hat in this video that you're currently wearing. And I love that you're also wearing a Deathly Hallows shirt. That's great. Let's go into some news. Why not, right? Now, Eric.
Yes.
You know I love films.
Yes.
And I specifically love Marvel films. Because I'm a giant man baby. And whenever they come
Dude,
out,
I
get
them.
super excited. Thor Ragnarok is the next movie that's coming out.
Fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Dude,
right?
the trailers, like, not a single trailer has, like, failed to, like, blow me away.
No, they're doing such a great job with this. I'm very excited. It comes out, I believe, in 2 weeks. When does this come out? Well, what's this say? People in the chat will let me know. But the good news is it is tracking to do huge. Now, I'm not quite sure what tracking means. I don't know how they track things. I don't know how they assume what a movie's going to make 2 weeks before it comes out.
Yeah.
They did this with Blade Runner. They said Blade Runner is going to open to a $45 million opening weekend. It did not.
Nope.
It fell super short of that. So take this with a grain of salt, but it says Thor Ragnarok tracking thunderous $90 million to $100 million weekend debut. Chris Hemsworth returns in the titular role while Mark Ruffalo shows up as the Hulk. Marvel Studios and Disney's Thor Ragnarok is tracking to open to a thunderous $90 million to $100 million in its North America debut over the November 3rd to 5th weekend. I could have read that first paragraph and answered my first question, but I don't do well on this show. The threequel, with Chris Hemsworth returning in the titular role, is directed by acclaimed New Zealand filmmaker Taika Waititi. Thor Ragnarok sees, well, this doesn't really matter. It's going to open big, that's what they're saying. Now, we'll see what happens here. People in the chat who are much smarter than me, let me know what this tracking things mean. How do they calculate how this movie's supposed to do?
I don't think it's really that fair because what they're doing is they're almost set it up to fail in a way. Like, even if it were to come out and do 80 million, 75 million, which is insane, people, like, the critics will be able to say, well, it didn't hit the targets that it was supposed to hit.
Well, they talk about that in this too.
Right?
They say, okay, so this is tracking to do 90 to 100 million, right? And they say if track is correct, Thor 3 will open ahead of the first Thor, which did 65.7 million, and Thor: The Dark World, which did 85.7 million. No small feat at a time when many franchise installments are struggling. I don't know how much of this is the studio's saying it's going to do big, so people think it's a big deal, so they go out to see it. I don't know how much of it is marketing, but I'll tell you right now, every time I see tracking to do well, it doesn't seem to be on point. But I mean, that's par for the course for all movies, right? Which you just don't fucking know how they're gonna do. Blade Runner is currently at 88% of Rotten Tomatoes. People are fucking loving this movie.
I've heard it's supposed to be incredible.
It's tanking. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Go figure. What are you gonna do? Let's see what people in the chat are saying about this. GMS Play DBBDLY says trends with advanced sales versus history of revenue. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Survey pre-ticket sales, etc. Probes. Yeah, I mean, this is like, to me, the concept of how you track a film beforehand is sort of like when they do polls in politics.
Yeah.
Where they're like, everyone's thinking that everyone's going to vote for Hillary Clinton, and then, so much for fucking polls. So much for
Too soon,
So
man.
much for
Too soon.
calling 100 people and being like, "Are you gonna go see Thor this weekend?" Like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely see Thor this weekend. And then, oh no, I forgot about my kid's soccer fucking game. I
Yep.
can't go see Thor. I have children. I have no fucking life because my children suck all the life. Doesn't matter. Hopefully it does well. We'll be there, of course, opening weekend. I fucking love Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's my body icon.
And then that director, Taika Waititi, like
Yeah.
his I've seen a couple of his movies before. What's that? Hunt for the Wilder People.
I never saw
It's
that.
fucking incredible.
But I
man.
did see What We
Dude,
Do in the
it's like
Shadows.
it kind of reminds me of like a modern day Goonies.
Is it?
But with like one kid.
Okay.
You gotta watch it. It's
Okay, I'll
fantastic.
take a look.
And it's just like he had a movie before that called Boy, which is also really good, really funny, like kind of just heartwarming. And I'm super curious to see the movie because I just want to see what someone like him with his talent can do with, a franchise with a massive
franchise,
budget,
a big
and like
budget, yeah.
and Hulk.
Yeah.
Right? And so
Yeah.
I'm like super psyched to see that.
I think it's going to be
Yeah,
great.
I think it's gonna be incredible.
I'm a huge fan of his, obviously, from What We Do in the Shadows. That's how I know him. And he's in
I haven't seen that
movie.
one.
It's so good.
I've heard it's hilarious.
It's on Amazon Prime, I think, or no.
Netflix. It's one of them.
Netflix.
I gotta watch it.
Definitely watch it. It's
Plus
hilarious.
Halloween, so it's vampires. It'll be pretty.
It's so fucking
That's a
funny. It's
season
so
to
well
watch it.
done. Plus, it's just slowly but surely all these other actors that you know start kind of coming into it, and you're like, God, this is so good. It's so fucking funny. Actually, in related news, let's pull up the next news story here. This is from IO9. Quoting, actually, if you scroll, actually, you can keep that one right there. This is some Akira news, spoilers. Taika Waititi spoke to IGN about the recent rumors surrounding his live-action adaptation of Akira. He says, well, that was more or less a rumor. I was in talks to do that for sure, and something I was very passionate about. I actually love the books, love the movie, but I would not do the remake of the movie. I would do an adaptation of the books. And yeah, so anyway, there's been some chats about him directing. He goes on to say, he also stated that if he did direct, he would be interested in casting unknowns in the role of Kaneda, Tetsuo, and company. Asian teenagers would be the way to do it for me, and probably not a name, I mean sort of unfound, untapped talent. Yeah, I'll probably want to take it a bit more towards the books. So that would be cool. I mean, I don't, it doesn't sound like he's going actually in talks to do this, but if he were to do it, taking it toward the books, I think would be the right way to do it. Because have you seen Akira?
Yeah, years ago, man.
Yeah. So Akira obviously is the pinnacle of Japanese animation as far as like feature films are considered. It's one of those movies where you're like, people say, oh, we need to bring it into the live action realm. And a lot of people, a lot of purists like myself are like, no, it's actually pretty fucking great as is.
As an animation, yeah.
If you were to bring it into the live action realm, you would just be changing it and making something different. So why not? This actually sounds like a much better thing to do, which is go back to the books, because Akira only covers a certain portion of the actual manga that came out. Like, it's only a slice of it. There's more of it. So I think it could be cool. But Akira is one of those movies, just like Robotech, that has been stuck in development hell for decades at this point.
Yeah, right?
So, will we ever see a live-action Akira movie? I don't know. Does anyone care? I don't know. I care, but I don't want to see it. Let's go into the next news story. Cool, Greg. This is also from IO9. Now, you haven't seen Blade Runner 2049.
No, but I've heard it's awesome.
It is great.
And I feel guilty that it's not doing so well because I feel like if just me and my wife went, if just 2 more tickets were sold, it'd be enough to just put it over the top.
I think if you guys went and saw, if people knew that you were going to see it,
Yeah, definitely.
the ones that were on the fence would be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna go see it. If Castro can see
Gives it a thumbs
if Castro
up.
can drag himself out of whatever hangover
doing.
slumber he's in to go
Right.
see a matinee of this movie, maybe I
Yeah.
can put some jeans on and go out of the house for once.
Because I do really want to see it. I love the first one.
It's so good.
And I've heard that the second one is just like perfectly carries on that legacy.
It very much does. But it was almost. Okay, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
It's called Blade Runner 2049. You haven't gotten out to see it yet.
Yeah.
Would you get out to see it if they had used the alternate title, which they were kicking around, which was Blade Runner Android's Dream? No, I wouldn't have either. That's a terrible title, and I'm glad they went with Blade Runner 2049. But I guess that was, according to an interview with Monsters and Critics, Alcon representative Andrew Cosgrove shared one of the original planned titles for the sequel to the iconic sci-fi film Blade Runner Android's Dream. Of course, this is a reference to Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was Philip K. Dick's original novella that spawned Blade Runner. But I think it's a terrible name. Not that Blade Runner 2049 is any better,
No,
necessarily,
it's not the best.
but at least they're kind of, I don't know.
Blade Runner 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
That would have crushed.
So yeah, that's what we could have gotten stuck with. Go see Blade Runner. Please, go see fucking Blade Runner. If you haven't seen it, I don't care if you hate it. It's still worth seeing in the big screen. Striven says, I'm not a fan of either titles. Toku says, I think it would have made Max Landis happier to have that title. Huh. I don't know. But either way, Blade Runner Origins, that's interesting. That would have been a cool title too, but it's not
Blade
really an
Runner,
origin story.
No.
It's that would have been the original.
It just sounds cool though.
Yeah, that does sound cool. Do we have any more news stories? Oh yeah, let's go into what's opening this weekend and see what's what. I like to pull this up every once in a while. Opening this weekend, October 13th, The Foreigner, which is Jackie Chan's new movie.
I heard that's supposed to be good, man.
Yeah, it
The
looks-
buzz on it's really good.
Dope. It's got a 67 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is right in my happy area. I'm
Yeah,
like,
'cause-
what's worth seeing for me? Maybe get out my ass out in the theater and see that. I don't know. Happy Death Day is, of course, the movie. It's kind of like Groundhog's Day, but with murder. So she just keeps getting murdered every day, which actually sounds pretty
That
cool.
sounds pretty fucking rad.
I saw a preview for that finally, and I was like, oh, I get it now. It's actually like Live, Die, Repeat, but with murder. And
Yeah.
she has to solve her own, whoever the killer is, she has to figure that out. It's kind of a
That
cool
sounds really
concept.
cool.
I'm not going to lie.
That sounds really cool.
Is Tim here yet? Joey, come here.
Yeah,
Now, you're a fan of horror movies, right?
I am.
Where do you come down on Happy Death Day?
I'm gonna see it.
Are you going to go out to the theaters to see it?
Probably.
Cool. I would like to believe I'm the kind of person that would go see that this weekend, but I'm probably
Really?
not going to. It looks kind of fun, I'm not going to lie.
I like it. As we've hashed out over the last few days, I don't have like a really like discerning palate when it comes to movies. So
You know, if I'm being honest with myself and with the rest of the world, neither do I.
thank you.
Neither do I. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
This is what I've talked about a lot, guys. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to be real with you guys right now.
Give it to me, Nick.
I have excellent taste in movies. But I also have excellent taste in food, okay? But sometimes I don't want to go to a restaurant and get all gussied up and get my wife out of the house and look pretty for her and be sexy for her and wait and tip and drink and enjoy the night and have this amazing memory. Sometimes I just want to go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to use that analogy for film, I was talking to my wife last night. We were watching the Spielberg documentary. I told her I still haven't seen Schindler's List. And
I haven't either.
She goes, "What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
You were a film student. Like, didn't you have to watch this in class?" I'm like, "No, we never had to watch it." And I had seen, I've seen Saving Private Ryan like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Those movies take so much energy and emotion that they suck out of you because they're so well made that I know Schindler's List is going to be like that. And
know.
I've just been putting it up. It's
So
been my
you have
cue
to be in the
for years.
zone. I'm gonna have to sit down and all my emails have to be answered.
Well, like, here's the deal, like-
I'm turning off my
You have to be in the
phone.
right frame of mind, and that's
Well,
why I've never watched Saving Private Ryan.
It's so good.
God,
I know,
it's
I
so
know.
fucking
But
good.
I
But
know
but
that
that
it's-
first scene, just you're like, oh my god, like
know.
it changes you. Movies like that stick with you, right?
Yeah.
So I know that I'm fucking up by not having watched this movie.
Yep.
By the same token, though, our lives are not. They're full of things, right? We put a lot of energy into the job. We put a lot of energy into the audience. We put a lot of energy into the content we make. I get to the end of the day, and I'm like, do I want to sit down and watch a 2.5 hour long movie that's going
it's
to
like 3.
It's the 3 hour long movie that's
It's gonna
really
drain you.
going to drain me,
And you'll
or
probably cry.
do I just want to watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure
Yeah.
again? Because that's a movie
That's
that I
a
can zone
damn good
out.
movie, by the way.
Great movie. I just
Yeah.
watched both of them. They're both
Yeah.
on Amazon Prime.
The
So
second
that's-
one was surprisingly good.
It's not as bad as I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember Bogus Journey being really shitty, but it's actually a lot deeper and darker than I thought. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is actually kind of fun. But they knocked it out of the park with Excellent Adventure. Come
Yep.
on. With Napoleon just running amok around San Dimas. Classic 80s movies.
Classic San Dimas.
All right, so you're going to go see Death Day. What
I
about The
think so.
Foreigner? You feel like you see The Foreigner this weekend?
one's The Foreigner?
Jackie Chan's movie?
No.
It looks good. I want to
Movies
watch
aren't really
it.
Usually my thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Other
not
than,
as
like-
traditional. This is like Taken.
Oh, maybe.
So it's a really serious, like, he plays an old, like, special forces agent for the Chinese, and someone kills his family, and he starts fucking everyone up.
That's probably one that I'll watch
Yeah.
on.
That's kind of an on-demand
Jackie
movie.
Chan is a badass, and it's crazy. How old is he now?
He's 84 years old.
Fuck.
No,
man.
no, no. I
Oh,
made
it's
that
like,
up.
there's
No, but he's
I
got to
don't
be
know.
at
He's
least like
pretty old.
60.
But he doesn't look that old.
No.
I think he's in his 70s.
Is he?
Dude, he
Chad,
crushes
look up
it.
how old Jackie Chan is for me. Let me know. We could look that up ourselves, but my hands, these days.
Question. Have either of you guys watched The Good Place?
Yes, I've seen every episode.
Okay, so
I
I'm
love that
behind
show.
by like a week, maybe, or 2.
What's The Good Place?
So it's a TV show
Yeah.
with Kristen Bell, Ted Danson,
Ted Danson, yeah.
where Kristen Bell dies and she wakes up and she's with Ted Danson. He's like
She's in
telling her
heaven.
about The Good Place and this is everything that's here. And then she very quickly realizes.
You can't. Don't give
That's
anything
the
away.
first one. That's the first episode.
No, I don't wanna-
Okay. You were gonna say
Yeah,
something.
no.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say
She
something.
very quickly realizes
Like,
that she is not supposed to be
they-
in the
they
good
think she's
place.
someone else.
Yeah.
So she dies.
It goes to
Goes to
heaven.
the good place.
Yeah.
And she thinks that she's supposed and
She knows she's not supposed to be there. She's like, oh, they think I'm this other person that like did all of these like trips to save people in other countries.
Yeah.
And she's like, I am like a horrible person that yelled at people everywhere and stuff like that. And it's about
Interesting.
her
It's a
trying
really
to,
good show.
like, be better.
And it's cool because it's really funny and obviously comedic, blah blah. But it's like I like none of the characters are stereotypes.
No.
And on top of that, it's like introduces you to ethics and philosophy.
Okay.
In a way that like I feel it's like very subversive. Like the average person is just laughing, doesn't really know what's happening.
yeah, it's
like
really, really smartly written for
love that.
a sitcom.
oh, it's wonderful. It might be the best sitcom I've seen in the last like 2 or 3 years.
I concur.
And I don't even
saw
watch a lot of
that.
What
sitcoms.
show is it on? Do we know? I mean, what channel is it on? Excuse me. Is it
There's
Hulu?
channels
Is it-
still?
I know, it's
fucking
like, I
know.
watched it on Hulu.
I'll Google it.
The
What's
first-
this channel that you speak
Exactly.
of?
The first season's on Netflix, and then
The second season's on
just,
Hulu.
Oh yeah, the second season just started.
Yeah,
So I
but
think
it's
there's,
like 3
2 or
episodes in or something.
Okay, very cool. Everyone check that out.
And I love it that the show it doesn't fall into the whole stereotypes like
Yeah.
oh this is the sassy redhead and then this is the blah blah blah. It's like they're like well thought out like fleshed characters.
Yeah.
God forbid, you know, it's
Yeah.
super cool.
All right.
Yeah, and Ted
like that.
Danson's great in it.
I just love Ted Danson.
He's awesome.
Fucking Ted Danson. By the
Ted
way, I
Danson
started
is a
watching
G.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, the ninth
Yeah.
season, and Ted Danson, of course, is in like the first episode or 2nd episode. I love Ted Danson.
He's awesome.
I love that Ted Danson is always the better version of whatever Larry David's doing in that show. It's so good.
Yeah.
He's so funny. Also, love Ted Danson for Bored to Death. Did you guys ever watch Bored to Death?
Yeah, that was good.
It was
No,
great.
what's
Yeah.
that one?
It was the detective
dude?
noir sort of show that was on
Oh.
HBO
With like
Yes.
hipsters in Brooklyn.
with what's his name? The guy that looks like Fran. We always said Fran.
That looks like Frank
No, the guy from Rushmore.
Jason
Schwartzman.
Yes.
Jason Schwartzman, yeah.
Jason Schwartzman. Is it Jason Schwartzman?
I think so.
Yes. So he's in it. He plays a character who's
Schwartz, something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a writer.
Dude from Rushmore, that's all you gotta say.
Yeah.
There you go. The dude from Rushmore. Anyway, he's a writer and he decides to be a private detective. He just starts doing it, even though he doesn't have a PI license and it's completely illegal. And Ted Danson plays his mentor, who is like the editor for this magazine that he writes for occasionally. And so they always end up kind of solving the crime, but not really. Zach Galifianakis is his best friend.
Like, no
too.
one's
He's
ever happy about
No
it?
one's ever really happy about it. He doesn't really actually do it because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But Ted Danson plays this character who's like just this super rich, affluent character who just hangs out with them because they're fun.
That's awesome.
It's really actually a well-made series. I liked it a lot, but of course, like everything I like eventually gets killed, and so they just cancel it off. But what are you gonna do?
I love Ted Danson from 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the
Dude,
dream
remember the
team.
ghost in the movie?
Oh, that's so creepy. Because it's
Yeah.
Ted Danson, Steve Gutenberg, and
Tom Selleck, maybe.
Selleck, yeah. How can you?
In the 90s, those were like the 3 top beefcakes.
I mean, Jesus, sandwich me between those 3 guys, and I'm happy for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me? Ted Danson, I will always love from Cheers, of course. Tom Selleck, I will always love from One Magnum PI. The Goot, I will always love from Short Circuit and Cocoon. Cocoon, by the way, on Amazon Prime, I think, or
It's on
Netflix.
Netflix right now.
Netflix, that's what it is. I would love to sit down with Steve Gutenberg and be like, what happened?
Well, yeah, because now
What
he's doing
happens?
all the
Dude.
sci-fi movies.
Well, he's
He
on
was
Ballers
on top
now.
of it.
Is he really?
He's back on, yeah, he's on Ballers. He plays this really weird fucking character on like billionaire on Ballers, and it's hilarious.
He was a police academy, man.
Dude, he was
the man back in the day.
The Goon
In the
was
80s.
huge
Yeah.
in the 80s. But I feel like he's just one of those stars that, for whatever reason, could not transition out of the 80s.
No.
Yeah.
You know, you always have that. You have these decades that go by. I think the 80s and 90s and 70s were a little bit harsher.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 2000s, people, actually, no, I can't, there's not that many people that,
Are
that's
we
not
too,
true.
Are
I
we
think the
not far enough
2000s,
removed to be able to see it yet?
maybe,
the
maybe not, but I
2000s.
feel like a lot of the, like, for instance, I look at the people from the early 2000s that started coming up, and I think they're still around, like Vin Diesel, The Rock, all of there's still a bunch of people who are still
Yeah.
kicking around.
Also-
Tom Cruise is still going, he's been going since the 80s.
I feel like media's diversified so much now. There's a place for everybody.
I think there really is,
But dude,
right?
the new Tom Cruise movie's fantastic.
Is it?
American
I
Made's
haven't seen it.
awesome. It's like Goodfellas meets Blow.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
I know
really
the concept.
good.
It's based on a real true
It's
story too, but I
really
haven't seen
good,
it yet.
yeah.
That's one of those that I'm definitely going to be like, I'm sad I missed it in the theaters, but it's definitely.
Where's it at right now? I want to see where it's at on Rotten
American Made
Tomatoes.
is at 87%.
See? I told you, man, it's great.
But it only made 8.5 million. It is tanky.
But it doesn't feel like it wasn't like a big budget movie.
Well, I love that era.
Yeah.
I have this weird obsession with the Pablo Escobar
Yeah.
drug running era, and I think that's when this is, right? Doesn't it happen in the 80s? Isn't he like he's whatever?
Yeah, it
for
starts
whatever.
in late 70s and goes transitions. to
Yeah,
the
so I love that era of when cocaine came on the scene in the 80s and how it changed America and how it actually started the war on drugs. Because prior to that, like a lot of these documentaries, I don't know if you've seen them all, but like Cocaine Cowboys, for instance, there's a great documentary that chronicles the Pablo Escobar, like that era, the Medellin cartel era, when they realized that a plane full of marijuana was worth $100,000. But a plane full of cocaine was worth like 20 million.
Yeah.
And so that became like this is stupid. A kilo of marijuana is worth like only like, I don't know, like $1,000 or whatever, but a kilo of cocaine's like 10,000. So they were like, okay, this is gonna be better. And so they just started flying it and boating it in and finding it anyway. And it turned, they say even overnight, like the Bay of Miami turned from this little sleepy town into this fucking hotbed of like neon drug activity and all this crazy shit. I'm just fascinated by that era. Spoilers, no one makes it out alive from any of these things, though. Drug running, never really not a long-term strategy for your life. I just want everyone to know. A lot of people don't retire.
There aren't a lot of happy endings in it for any of these characters involved.
But man, you watch Cocaine Cowboys, and they talk about Pablo Escobar, and they talk about how Pablo Escobar had houses of cash. He had cash everywhere. He had so much cash that it was just acceptable for him to lose millions of dollars to like rats eating it. Yeah. Every year he would lose millions of dollars to either the cash rotting because it was buried someplace improperly, or rats would eat it, or people would just find it and be like, what the fuck? There's just like cash, like just stashes of cash everywhere, because he couldn't launder it. Everything was paid in cash.
There's so much of it.
And they couldn't figure out, like they had to launder it, but they could only launder so much of it. So eventually they had there's at one point, in one of the documentaries, they talked about how the guys that were flying, the guys that were the Americans, like the guys, I don't know if one of them is based on Tom Cruise's character or not.
Yeah, Barry Seal.
Yeah.
He's a real guy, you can Google him.
Yeah, I think he's in one of the interviews, and he talked about how, I think he eventually goes to jail, but he talked about how they had so much fucking money that the only thing they could do is buy houses with it. And at one point, he owned like a neighborhood. Like he just was like, I owned a neighbor, I just kept buying houses in the neighborhood because I was like, I don't know what else to do with all this money. And I was like, well, at a certain point, don't you think the IRS is going to catch on to that? I don't know. I figured,
ends up in jail.
I guess so. But here's my thing. And this may be a good topic for the gogs, because I think about this a lot. I'm like, if you were making a lot of money, but you knew eventually, like you were making it illegally, and you knew eventually you were going to get caught, how would you hide the money so that when you came out of jail, like would you hide the money so that when you came out of jail you could like live? Or what would you do? I don't know. It's crazy.
What would I hide it?
Oh, dude, I would do it like Keanu Reeves in John Wick, just like
where it's just buried.
but it's under concrete, like
it's
in
just
your basement.
gold bricks.
But you to actually get the money out, you just have to take a sledgehammer, just break the concrete.
I love John Wick. I keep telling everyone in this office to watch John Wick, and nobody does.
What?
Nobody watches.
It's fantastic. It's incredible.
I didn't see the first one. I only saw the second one.
Second one's really good. The first
really
one's
like the second
awesome.
Joey.
So here's the thing.
The first one is that it sets it up. You don't understand why he's so mad.
I do. And that's the reason why I didn't watch the first one.
The first one is good.
so sad. They kill us
I know, and I can't do that. Like the hardest I've ever cried in a movie was Marley and Me, so I can't do like the.
Well, what's amazing is I heard that story for the first time. I was like, what a fucking stupid trope. What a dumb way to get a character back into the action of his old life.
Yeah.
But they set it up so well because his wife was the reason he left. And she was dying, and she gives him the dog.
I know.
And it's his last touch, like his last little connection to his wife, and that fucking shithead Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, Theon
kills
fucking
the
Greyjoy,
dog.
man.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
I
knew what the storyline of the first one was to go see the second one, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, the second one's really good, but the first one is
I
like
love her.
awesome.
I don't normally delight in people's misfortune, but I will say, seeing that Flatliners is at a 4, stop trying to remake my youth, Hollywood, okay? Flatliners is very special to me. Battle of the Sexes is supposed to be really good too, at 84%. That's the Billie Jean King tennis movie with Steve Carell.
Oh yeah.
That's supposed to be great. What else is out there? And of course, still killing it. And Blade Runner, go see Blade Runner. I don't know what No Malone is, but for the love of God, what a great title. Everyone go see that too this weekend, why not?
I also, in addition to not liking really great movies, I also really like disaster movies.
Oh, let's go see Geostorm. Fuck yes. Was I sitting next to you when we saw the preview for that in Blade Runner? I forget who I was sitting next to, I was like,
I want to go see it.
Hey,
I
wasn't
love those movies.
a Geostorm like a car in the 90s?
yes, it was the Geostorm. It was.
Like a geo-tracker.
In fact, that's actually
I would
what...
love if that was just like a huge ruse and you get there and it's just like a documentary about the car.
Either that or, because I know this one's supposed to be like crazy weather systems, like we control the weather. What if at one point it starts raining geostorms? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Like people are running and it's just these little tiny pieces
Where are
of
they
shit.
getting the supplies?
Why are there so many geostorms in the atmosphere? Were they in space?
I actually
Did we
saw a
shoot them into space?
Geo-tracker this morning while I was getting coffee coffee on my way here.
Really?
Yeah. I actually saw a Geo Tracker, like, it was like a mid-90s model, and it was still in good shape, and I
like
wonder where the hell they got it with. No, but they almost all were teal. Yeah.
That's what I always imagined.
Man, the Geo Metro.
And I saw
Geo
driving,
Storm
it
was
was
a
like-
3-cylinder, right? Oh my god, people are remembering this. I must have blocked out the half of the 90s from my brain. Because, man, they
Just
made some
traumatized?
shitty cars. Well, they just made terrible cars back then.
Yeah, they were really bad
God,
cars.
they were terrible.
It was a 3-cylinder?
That's what people are saying, but I don't think that's right. That can't. Maybe it was right.
But I swear, I swear it's a real vehicle.
Frog and Bullfish 89 says the Geo Metro was a poor man's Suzuki Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know what either of those things
I remember
are.
the Tracker kept tipping. It was like a thing.
It tipped?
It was always tipping because it was like real top heavy.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
people were taking the corner at, like 50 or something. The thing would just tip over.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like something that would be on Top Gear.
My sister used to have one. I remember her driving it through San Francisco. It wasn't powerful enough to make it over
the
most of the hills.
Oh.
So you had to really know the city and like know which ways you could go to get to where you're going.
All right, let's. Joey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm gonna read some tips real quick, and then we'll go into PS I Love This Best Friend XOXO. First tip comes today from Anakins. It says, calling all best friends. If any one of you are going to TwitchCon next week, let's plan a meetup. Hell, let's burn the convention center down for the name of Greg. My Twitter name is @CaptainMark. That's a great idea. The meetup is a great idea, so definitely hit up @CaptainMark. But please don't burn anything down. There's been way too many things being burned down in California this week. So let's stay away from lighting matches near any dry brush, please. Because a lot of friends out in Napa are not having a great time. And in Southern California, it's
Yeah.
also on fire, for Christ's sake. Everything's on fire in this fucking state right now. Panzer G2 says, hello, Nick and Eric Castro. Sorry for an odd question, but how many opportunities will I have to ask Eric this kind of question? Is Chardonnay garbage, or is Tim just a wine snob?
Chardonnay is not garbage. It gets a bad rap a lot because a lot of stuff that's popular. A lot of stuff that's really popular is
Come on,
like,
go.
people think like, oh, all just tastes like oak. You can't even taste the grape at all. It's just buttery oak. And I mean, I guess that is something that's a legitimate beef. But aside from that, that doesn't detract from like the incredible Chardonnay that's still being made by like artisan winemakers all around the world.
Sure.
Yeah, give it another chance.
Do you
Give it
Napa
another chance.
Valley, huge for the Chardonnay.
Do you guys serve wine at Play?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we actually serve a lot of wine.
Chardonnay?
Yeah, we have really good Chardonnay.
Yes.
Yeah, we are
So
talking
interesting.
about wine.
Okay, so I will give it another shot when we come down in
Yeah.
December.
Yes.
Andrew, why don't
Oh,
you
hey,
weigh
how
in
are
on
you?
this? Is
Hey, how are you?
Is Chardonnay garbage? Oh no.
Most Chardonnay is garbage.
Ooh,
See?
shots fired.
There is a small sliver of Chardonnay that is usually aged in something besides oak.
See, this is kind of what I was talking
That's
about.
not buttery, that's more mineral, and it's a little bit more dry. But it still has the round mouthfeel that a Chardonnay has.
Now, here's another follow-up question for this. As a
Yes.
person who doesn't drink a lot of wine, do people just hate Chardonnay because it's the only wine that actually tastes good?
How many types of wine have you actually tried? Like how
I
many
actually-
varietals of wine?
I used to work at a restaurant that
Yeah.
had a great wine list, and they made me try every type.
If
you worked
only
at
Veritages,
so you worked
Merlots,
you worked at
Rieslings,
a restaurant.
Zinfandels.
A single restaurant? Just one?
I worked at multiple restaurants, but one of the restaurants that I worked at was a restaurant we talked about yesterday, the show called Bertolini's. They had a phenomenal wine list. I mean, I'm talking Opus Ones. I had $1,000
Okay.
bottle of wines there. They were great. Having said that, I just never developed a palate for it for two reasons. One, I used to smoke a lot, and smoking kills your
Yeah,
sense of
it
taste
does
and,
kill it.
Yeah,
and
that's
fucks
no
up your sense of
good. You
smell.
don't wanna do
So
that.
all I can taste when I drink wine is the actual alcohol, because it's the most like heavy portion of the taste profile, flavor profile. So when I drink Chardonnay, I'm like, oh, okay, this tastes sweet, so it actually tastes like something. Versus when I drink like a deep Zinfandel, that just hits me with just pure alcohol. I can't taste anything else. I don't get black currants. I don't get cherries. I don't get fucking carrots or whatever the hell else they put in there. Which, by the way, is all
cat
just
pea? Cat pea is
cat piss
actually
is a huge
can be a
one.
good thing.
That's huge.
No,
so
that's never a good
what
thing.
is your
It is. It's really weird when people are like, cat piss?
like what
And you're
ammonia?
like, is that a
It just
good
tastes like
thing?
ammonia?
What? I'm really
is a
walking into
thing.
this conversation now.
What is your favorite varietal or combination of varietals for a wine?
So my all-time fave that I will drink no matter what is Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
And there are a bunch of different styles. I really like French Sancerres, but I also like California salt blocks because they're
Okay.
a little bit, more dry. I used to be really big into like the New Zealand Marlborough County Sauvignon blocks, but they got a little too citrusy for me. And so now when I drink them, they almost are a little on the sour side. But
Okay.
that's a varietal. If you put it in front of me, I would never turn it away.
I'm gonna wager a guess. If people don't like Chardonnays, they especially don't like Rieslings. Is that the case?
Not necessarily. It's really different. I mean, because there are dry Rieslings that are really excellent, and they're completely opposite on the profile from like the traditional sweet Rieslings that most people are familiar with. But you'd be surprised. But they're difficult to find. Most restaurants don't put them on their wine list.
Now, last question on the wine list, because I'm sure people in the chat are going, "Oh my God,
So
stop
bored.
talking about wine." Where do you come down on a sparkling rosé?
Ooh,
Love
I
it.
love it.
If it's dry, if it's sweet, if it's more in the Rosato Italian style, I'll still drink it because there usually isn't a sparkling except sparkling Moscato. Get out of here. No way. But
Take your Moscato, get the hell out of here.
But like rosé, love. And I like that it's having this renaissance
Yeah,
right
it is,
now.
and it's so cool.
Can we do a field trip where Andrew just teaches us everything about wine?
Yeah, let's
Yes.
Let's just go get drunk.
yeah.
Is that your way of saying let's go get drunk?
Okay, I
you and
gotta finish
Andrea?
prepping for the
Okay.
show.
Okay.
It was
Second.
nice chatting.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you.
Lovely chatting. Okay, well there you go.
I will say though, to Panzer, was it Panzer G2?
Yeah.
I do want to say, man, drink what you want. Don't let anyone tell you what to drink or not. You can,
Yeah, you like what you
listen
like.
to the three of us talk about what we like and what we don't like, but what really matters is what makes you happy and what you enjoy drinking.
Basically, what we're telling you is go get yourself a bottle of Boone's Strawberry Farm, if you know what I'm talking about, and have yourself a great Thursday night. Last tip comes from our friend DJ Kenta, who says, I'm stuck in SF for the weekend. Anyone want to go see a movie? Nick, Joey, question mark. No, I don't want to see a movie this weekend, but someone will. Put it on, there's tons of best friends in San Francisco. Hit up everyone and go do that. I have to spend some time with my wife.
Hey, Nick,
Yes.
somebody sent me a tweet that I thought was interesting. Can I pull it up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What am I looking at here, Big Cat?
Taco Bell's. Sorry, right here.
Behold, Taco Bell's collaboration with Forever 21. Tim's gonna love this.
This is some
Are
shit.
these all female clothing? Because if Tim can get himself a Taco Bell hoodie, he's going to do that.
Damn,
oh my
this
God, that's
one?
fucking fire right there. That is beautiful.
Ooh, and I like the prices on them because you know what? KFC did something like this a while back,
Uh-huh.
and you're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna get like a KFC hoodie, and it's like $100. You're like, I'm not paying $100 for a KFC hoodie.
I sure don't. You know why? Because you're gonna wear that shirt 2 to 3 times, and then the novelty's gonna wear
Yeah.
off. Too much sauce.
That's
Cool,
you,
Greg. The
bro.
problem is these are all women's tees.
We'll figure it out.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna figure
That's
it out. Everybody,
fire.
that's fucking amazing too. But Cool Greg, it's a cutoff sweatshirt.
but Cool Greg has some
It's
rock-
gonna show your
Yeah.
belly button.
But-
You're gonna look like Ted or Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, but Cool Greg has some rockin' abs. He's younger than
you
us.
do have rocket.
So he
abs.
can floss them, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
his genes haven't set in where he gets the pudginess like I did. Let's go to PSL of his best friend XOXO. Of course, if you go to kindoffunny.com/bestfriend, it's your opportunity to give someone in the community a shout out you feel is doing a great job, just like Thomas Marshall did for Kyle Stevenson. Thomas says Kyle is the epitome of what it means to be best friend, doing the Facebooking and the Twittering, arranging the New York meet and greets, playing the games, being an outstanding positive force through adversity, and so on and so forth. I don't want to tell a story, but he's out the other end of the year long. Excuse me. He's out the other end of a year-long battle to get his job back, and he deserves a shout out because goddamn, I love that best friend XOXO. Kyle Stevenson, that's a name that I see a lot. I see your picture on Twitter all the time. Thank you for being an awesome human being. Everybody, in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're all about. Now we're gonna go into the giveaway.
Yeah.
Eric, I know what you're asking yourself. You're like, holy shit, a giveaway. You guys must be
Damn, you guys are
that's
balling like that,
right?
son.
Yes, we get codes for free.
Yeah.
People give them to us. We give them to the community. We like to do that. And there's 4 ways
And
that
also-
you can get entered to win.
But special this week, we're actually giving away a lot of decaf coffee pods.
Yeah, actually, if you are in the greater San Francisco area and you get hit by a Starbucks decaf coffee pod, it's probably Greg Miller throwing a temper tantrum. Cozy, I need my caffeine. Ooh. You're a fucking addict, Miller. You're an addict, Miller. And I'm calling you out on you. You've hit rock bottom. You hit rock bottom today. There are 4 ways to win a code each and every day here at twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. 1, you can be in the chat. Right now. You don't have to spam. You are entered to win just by being in the chat. 2, you can be a subscriber. Of course, I've gone over this a billion times, but I have to because Amazon doesn't make it easy. If you have Amazon Prime, you get to be a free Twitch subscriber to one channel. You can give that to us if you'd like, but if not, please give it to someone out there that is creating content, because otherwise it just goes to waste. You have to redo it every month. It is a pain in my ass that I have to keep reminding you of this, and I know a lot of people are annoyed by it. It's just the way it goes. Thank you to all of you out there that do it every month, and remember, I appreciate you so much. 3 and 4, you can support us at the $2 above level on patreon.com/kindafunny, or patreon.com/kindafunnygames, and that gets you entered to win as well. Today's winner of FIFA on the PS4 comes from the Twitch chat. It is Acrylics91. Congratulations, Acrylics91. You have won FIFA on the PS4, which I assume is a football game.
Yes.
Am I correct in that assumption? FIFA?
FIFA,
Being a
yes.
soccer football game?
Yes.
I say it like that because that's how they say it in Italy. Football. Kevin's in Italy right now for his honeymoon, and I'm sure he's enjoying many a football game on the television. It's annoying when they say that. I just like to piss off the people that don't live in the United States. You know, here in this little bubble we like to call U.S., we're such shits when it comes to the rest of the world.
Yes.
Right? We just kind of make fun of them all the time because we like to think that we're better than everyone. Because spoilers, we are. No, we're not. We're not. I just like to fuck with people. Let's go to the old Moriarty 3 and 3. This is where we get an opportunity to talk to you guys. We'll take 3 questions, comments, concerns, compliments, or just really weird statements from the non-subscribers, and then we will go and talk to the chosen few, you who are out there that remember to re-up your Amazon Prime subscription every day. We'll talk to you as well. Let's get into it. Let's see. First comment today comes from NeoBiz1. Says, Uncle Nicky, just started a business with my friend. Any words of advice? Ooh, you talk to the right guys right now. My one piece of advice to you would be always be open and honest with your friends. A business is just like a personal relationship. The more you can explain what your expectations are, what you want to get out of this relationship, what you hope to achieve, the quicker you guys can understand what you both want, and you can meet in the middle and you can go forward. And that's how good relationships are forged. What's your advice for it?
There's a book out there called The E-Myth.
Okay.
Which I highly recommend. You can buy, I think, on the Kindle or something for really cheap. But it's basically about how to make sure that you are actually being the most efficient, getting the most out of your investment and time at your job. I feel like too often so many people, they quit their job to form their own business, and then they just end up just having another job. They just traded one job for another job instead of actually treating it as an owner rather than an employee.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. Eric says, the Indie Boy, talk about your podcast too, please. It's brilliant.
Oh, yeah, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, we also, besides the film, we also have a Bartender at Large podcast available. And that's actually, it's really interesting because it's just bartenders talking to each other about really nerdy stuff about bartending.
I love it.
So it's definitely, I mean, we're not.
I love it.
If you want like a mojito recipe, look somewhere else. If you're looking for, how to make 5 cocktails at home, that's not the fucking show. Instead, it's just people just nerding out about cocktails, cocktail science.
I imagine
bars.
some of it also has to do with, like, for instance, you told the story yesterday on the show where one of your vendors was like, hey, I've got this awesome bottle of Japanese whiskey. Do you want it? And you were like, yeah, I definitely want it. And you got so passionate about like why you thought that was cool and how you could how you think your patrons over at Polite Provision would really, really enjoy having something like that. Is that kind of what you get into on that podcast? Is it like
exactly.
Is it super fucking
it's
alcohol
super
nerd?
nerdy. Like sometimes we're talking about
it.
Dilution and water content in cocktails. But then sometimes we actually get bigger topics. Like the episode that just went live this week, was actually us talking about how to deal with like depression and anxiety.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because it's such a stressful industry, and you work late hours, and it's like sometimes it can be tough to get a sense of community outside of that. So we actually talk about how to deal with that. So sometimes it's like universal issues, but sometimes it's very nerdy.
Can people get this on iTunes? Are you on iTunes?
Yeah, it's on iTunes.
Check it out.
SoundCloud.
Bartender at Large podcast. I'm going to check this out. This sounds awesome. I love any podcast that is about nerdy shit made by nerds for nerds.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
There are so many tiny little niche podcasts out there where people just talk about the one thing that I love, and I'm like, it's so fucking cool to hear people. I don't know, it's nice. Anyway.
No, it's fun, yeah.
M. Xavier91 says, Nick, have you seen Ingrid Goes West? The movie is great. I have not yet, but that's definitely one that I'll probably catch when it comes on demand. It looks fucking weird as shit. Froggish Bullfish 89 says, Nick, have you given up on salvaging your hairline? I'm 26 and balding now. I don't know how to feel about it yet. Should I try fighting it? I've talked about this a lot. I haven't given up on salvaging my hairline per se, but I don't think it's going to be ever going to be any better than it is right now. But I do take a pill, which is the generic version of Propecia, every day, so that I don't lose any more of my hair. because I certainly feel like I don't want to go any more bald than I am. Having said that, if you're going bald, you're going bald, man. I appreciate that. I know it's hard. It's a difficult thing for a young guy to deal with, especially in your 20s. If it happens in your 30s or 40s, it's probably just as hard. But in your 20s, so much of your identity is kind of tied up in how you look and who you are, presenting yourself out to as you're finding yourself. But I will say this, once it gets to a certain point, for me, I'm shaving that motherfucker. And that's what's going to happen. Because I've shaved my head before.
I'm sitting here next to you, man. It looks good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely it hasn't gotten any thicker over the years, but it hasn't gotten any thinner over the years. So it's still there. I still got a little bit left. But also, you know what? Honestly, I just enjoy getting the fade.
Yeah.
So even if it goes, I'm gonna shave it, but I'm still gonna fade it. Like I'm gonna fade it up to like kind of, how guys have that where it's just a little bit on top. I love that look.
I got the.
Oh, so you got a full head of hair. You're looking good, brother. You got that thick hair. I just wanted an excuse to. I just always wanted an excuse to go to the barber because I love it.
I don't know if this would work for you, and I don't know if this really applies, but like, I've, as bartending, doing this for years, you like have problems in your joints and stuff.
Sure.
So I started taking this, it's kind of like the joint juice stuff.
Yeah.
I started taking
Glycogen or
that,
whatever it is.
and without thinking about it, didn't even really make the connection. And started taking fish oil and other stuff.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, it's like I noticed like a month, 2 months later, my hair started getting really hard to comb.
Really?
And I asked my wife about it. She's like, "Oh, it's because all these vitamins you're taking.
Oh, probably.
It's making your hair stronger."
That is one of the things
because it's good for your joints. So I figure it's like.
That is one of the things that I need to figure out as I've been kind of slacking on my diet, my nutrition lately, ever since I got back from my trip. I do need to figure out how to get more nutrients. Like
I wonder if that'll make your hair thicker, because
potentially.
I swear it's like my hair's gotten harder to comb because it's just
possible.
gotten thicker.
You might just have amazing genetics and just rub
No, but I swear it's just I swear it's like that stuff because it's like if it's good for your bones, I mean it's essentially gonna be good for your hair because it's the same shit, right?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I need to. That's one of the things that I wonder. I'm pretty sure I'm walking around very vitamin deficient. I don't eat nearly as many vegetables as I should. I try to have a big salad once a day, but I just don't get there. Like last night for dinner, I had just a giant plate of meat with some tomatoes and some guacamole in it, which is good fats. But at the same time, like a lot of people talk when they talk nutrition, they talk like I follow a few people who will like tweet out what they eat for breakfast every morning, and it's like 3 farm-grown eggs with spinach and tomatoes and beets, and like their plate just looks like all the colors of the rainbow. And there's good proteins.
And then I had a chicken biscuit.
I had 2 sous vide fucking egg bites from Starbucks that I'm pretty sure have 0 nutritional value in them.
Right.
And then I think I go around thinking I'm on a keto diet. I'm just not. I got to get on that. My plan is hitting it hard in November. Because I have 2 months till the jacket off. I'm in a competition with my friend who no longer knows we're in a competition, but I'm going to call his ass out on January 5th, whether or not he knows it. I'm going to try to see how fit I can get in the next 2 months. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, Nick.
But why are you waiting until November to start?
Well, because I have to do it by January 5th. And if I've started already. I'm working out today. I'm doing legs days today. But I want to go really strict on the diet for 2 months, which is going to be nearly impossible.
It's going to be hard in the fucking holidays, dude.
Thursday, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I always blow my diets. But this will hopefully give me a little bit of like motivation.
Yeah, we got to get your winter coat,
to push it in. I don't need that winter coat, bro, because the winter coat takes fucking 6 months to get off, and then I feel good about myself for a month, and then I start going into the fucking holidays again and start slamming mini Snickers bars into my mouth, and I can't stand that shit. It's bullshit. Okay, let's take 2 more, and then we'll go into sub-only mode. Lakers had 2-4-3-2. I almost fucked up your name again, but I did it this time. Says, Nick, serious question. Do you have any sexual side effects from Propecia? One of the big side effects from Propecia can be the impotence.
Yeah.
It'll kill your dick. I have not had that problem yet.
Because it only affects, like 5% of people or whatever?
Yes, but I've heard people, like Joe Rogan talks about how he took Propecia and it shot his dick in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And just killed it. So I don't know.
Because I have heard guys say that too. It takes like a month or two to get back to your normal, right? When you start
I have not noticed any change in my libido or in my ability to get a what.
Yeah, but you're Italian, so it's like you wouldn't notice anyway.
Yeah, I mean a lot of I just haven't noticed anything like that. Having said that, I am married, so it's not like I get a chance to test that theory all too often. But yeah, I haven't noticed anything. It also might be a difference, and talk to your doctors of course before you take any of this stuff. But it might be a difference between. The finasteride that I take, which is a generic drug, and the Propecia, I don't know if there's a different mixture in there. The finasteride I take doesn't seem to have affected me at all.
Because it's the Rogaine that was the one that was having the problems with that, right?
No, Propecia
back in the day? Oh, okay.
Rogaine's the topical. I don't think that people have problems. Propecia, people talk about, they just take it for a month and then talk about confidence killing me. Yeah, give it hair or dick all day long. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not trying to do that. Okay, let's go into sub-only mode. And then I will let you get back to your world, my friend.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Good to be here, man.
All right, queue up. We're with the chosen few. If you haven't subbed to us, I'm sorry. You're silenced now. We're only talking to the golden children. We're talking to the golden children now, okay? Shrub Tim says, Eric, is it possible to get all the soap out of the loofah?
I wouldn't know, man. I just use a bar soap.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, it is possible. Don't use a loofah is what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't
saying
know.
you're a fucking busta.
No, I don't know.
Talking about?
I don't know. What do you? What? Because that's just kind of like a. It's like a sea creature or something, right?
It is. It's like the loofah is like the big spongy thing that when you pour the soap into it, it lathers really nicely, and then inevitably you're done with it because I use a loofah, and you start squeezing it out, and it just squeezes soap.
Does the
out
soap
of it
ever get out?
No, it never gets out. Never gets out. Here's what you do: throw it out. You go to Target, you get like 5 more. It's fine. Caesar04 says, I am chosen. You are chosen. You've chosen yourself to be a part of this amazing community. We appreciate you for that. Bear80 says, talk about cocktails. We talked about cocktails all day yesterday on the Game of a Greggy show. Definitely, it was a fucking great episode. We had a great time. It was one of those rambling episodes where we all came in with the best intention of topics. But I think we actually ended up staying. What I liked about it was we stayed on topics for a long time. Because sometimes, and I'm not calling out anyone, but sometimes when Greg and Tim get drunk, the topics just start, it's like, oh, let's talk about my shoes. We're talking about my feet. I love my life so much. Chicken wings. And it's like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. It's too much. I think we had a lot of good pointed discussions yesterday. And I really appreciated that.
No, it was fun, man. And then when's that episode go live? Monday?
That episode, I believe, will be live for patrons on Friday.
So
if you guys want to hear that on Friday, of course, if you guys supported us, you get to watch live. We recorded it yesterday live, but a lot of great people in the chat. It was super fun. We spent a little extra time with people before and after. You get to see how the show's set up a little bit, and you get to see how all the fucking fuckery and shenanigans that happens before and afterward. But yeah, if you're a supporter, it's Friday. If not, wait till Monday. It'll be out on Monday, in piece by piece. Mr. Yasman300 says, Nick, can Joey, Kevin, Cool Greg, and Andrea do the kind of funny reacts for Riverdale Season 2? I will ask them. I don't watch that show. Last question comes from, let's see, the Indie Boy. It says, plug the Christmas party also. I assume he means for you?
Oh, yeah, but for you guys, we're the kind of funny meetup at Polite Provisions in San Diego on in December, Monday 11th.
December 11th.
Monday the 11th.
If you're in the greater San Diego area, get your ass over to Polite Provisions, or as they're calling it, has it switched to names yet?
Oh yeah, it's going to be Miracle on 30th Street.
There you go,
during
Miracle
the
on 30th Street. They're going full bore into the Christmas feeling and the seasons and the decorations and all that jazz. So they're going to have a really good time. I can't wait to see pictures of that.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Instagram. It's going to be great.
Pretty sick threads, huh?
Goron King 42 says, if I wanted to write all of it, KF, a heartfelt letter about how much your shows mean to me and have all 7 of you read it, where should I post it? That's a tough question. I know a lot of us are on Reddit a lot, so you can post it on the Reddit, you can post it on the Facebook, you can post it on the forums, and someone will link us to it. Joey monitors all those things like Batman, just looking over her city. So she will find it, and she will send that to us for sure. That is it for our show today, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Eric, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's great to have you back in our neck of the woods. Of course, Andrea and Greg will be back with Kind of Funny Games Daily later in about 5 minutes after we set up. Stick around. I will read subscribers to you, and I'll probably say something very, very inappropriate. Remember, required watching is Gerald's game for tomorrow, and have a wonderful Thursday afternoon.